Welcome. For you that couldn't find parking places, my colleagues will help you with that. I'm very excited to have you all here. Some of you are from very long places. I know there's at least about 1,000 people that are joining us online from US and other corners of the world. We are live streaming this, so if you are here and you don't have to take notes, we'll summarize everything for you as we move forward. Let's see now. So we're going to talk about today the two most explosive technologies that are out there. One of them that you see every day, artificial intelligence. There's not an hour going without hearing some good news about artificial intelligence. And secondly is about spatial computing, which has been coined 15 years ago and refreshed about 2 weeks ago by Tim Cook when they launched the Vision Pro. Now, today we're going to talk about these two technologies. We refer to them as spatial artificial intelligence. And what's spatial artificial intelligence? Rather than talk about it, you're going to firsthand experience this during today's presentation. I'll leave my phone. Also, I'll need it. Someone took it away. Sorry, no problem. And now, I wrote a book about 2 years. It was called The Spatial, there you go. I need this for the demo. It was called The Knowledge Metaverse, and the subtitle was The Artificial Intelligence Explosion and How We Become Superhuman. In this book, I outlined a future where artificial general intelligence will take over more and more of what we humans do. I made a prediction, which is very dangerous to do. I predicted that this will take about 8 years. And recently, I have to revise the prediction. It looks more like 1 to 2 years. And today, AI is still, humans are here. AI is still maybe like a primate, like a monkey in general intelligence. When we reach artificial general intelligence, it's equal to us. The problem is that it doesn't stop there. It continues. Then artificial intelligence is the human, we are the monkey. Then we are the dog. Then we are the frog. Then we are the ant. Now, once we are ant, that's a pretty difficult thing to explain to an ant what quantum physics is. So that's the world that's going to meet us not in 10 years, but very soon. And how on earth can we get ready for that? So today, we're going to try to help you navigate this new world, both by demonstrating tools that your organization can use today to embrace this new future, but also solutions that address some of the challenges that this technology has. I'm sure you heard about hallucination as another, as well as a concrete implementation vehicle that you can utilize in order to make this happen. So, fasten your seatbelts because it's going to go very fast. We're going to do a lot of things now. So any student or any worker that embraces this future in the next, let's say, 2 years will meet artificial intelligence and maybe even AGI. According to World Economic Forum, 75% of organizations will do so. So what is EON doing in this sector? I'm not going to talk so much about EON today, but all I can say is that we've been at it for many years, 25 years to be precise. We have about 44 million users. We are present in 100 countries. And over these years, we built what today is the largest extended reality library, as well as the necessary tools to implement this. Now, so I mentioned two pieces. One was spatial computing. Another name for spatial computing is what? Extended reality or metaverse. So what's the value of this technology? Simply put, what it does, I could summarize in 30 seconds, and I will let Pricewaterhouse summarize this.
We have conducted on virtual reality learning. We found learners in VR required less time to learn. They had higher emotional connection to the content, higher confidence, and were less distracted during the training.
So 4 times faster learning than e-learning. Students, workers learn faster, retain information longer, and make better decisions. With regards to problems with AI, so what's the problem with today's language models? Number one, it doesn't know who you are, where you are, what you do, or the context. It's just a brain in a jar. So what EON has done is taking out this brain out of the jar, or the genie out of the bottle, and enabled it to guide you, assist you, show you and tell you things, both in the virtual world as well as in the physical world. And that's what we're going to show you. Now, to do this, you need to do a couple of things. First of all, you need to have a tool. And EON invented a tool about 6 years ago that makes it easy, that works on 15 billion devices, including this one here, phones, laptops, headsets, and that's necessary to have a solution that's accessible, available, and affordable. Number two, we were able to create digital twins using tools that you can take this room, create a digital twin, and invite guests from other locations, which, by the way, we are doing today. Eventually, you have to share this environment with other people from other corners of the world. We call it a teleportation, or the ability to have a digital meeting virtually. Again, just using a phone or a tablet. You can obviously use headsets. So those are key tools. Another issue that we have to resolve is how do we bring interaction to these environments in a way that things can move and interact in a natural flow. So for example, when I push this button, something happens. All these tools were necessary to have the underlying platform to make this work. About 2 years ago, we launched also something we call the Metaverse Builder that doesn't limit us just to an object, an environment, but can do full worlds, full campuses, full companies, full factories. So this was just the beginning. That's where we started. Eventually, this mushroomed, and we'll hear today, especially this afternoon, from our technical team, how you can create, how you can explore the real world, how you can utilize more than 8 million library items that we have today, how you can chat, how you can get AI to make decisions for you, etc. How you can train it on your own data. So, and also very soon, we'll have some very cool examples of how this is used today in also exotic devices like Vision Pro or HoloLens or Magic. So it's not only limited to my devices. How you can use this in a way. Vision Pro is about $3,500.
Welcome to EON's Spatial AI assistant in the real world.
Hi. Would you like to create AI-generated art experiences, explore the real world?
How am I able to change personas? So
these include
if I don't like the avatar
primary school level, secondary school level, college and TVET level, university, enterprise, humorous, poetic.
And I can just adapt that.
These pickups are made of metal.
We'll also talk about the ability to train it on your own data. So you can take your 20,000 or 2 million PDF pages that your organization has and train the AI so it doesn't hallucinate, but it provides you the right answers for your product. The ability to speak multiple languages. So let's say that I have some guests from France. So what I'll do then is I will change the language.
Combien de langues existent-ils sur la planète?
Il existe plus
French, bonjour, German, Russian, Chinese, and 82 other languages. We are soon adopting more than 1,000 languages. What about magic? I like Harry Potter. In the power of exercising your shadow, meaning that you just, instead of programming interactions, you are speaking them. So I say rotate, move, interact, vibrate. And so those are just scratching the surface of what we will show later today. Okay, so now, of course, a lot of you says, especially the skeptical people like myself, okay, it's great, you guys build a lot of tools and you have solutions for this, but how about the problems that face AI? What's the biggest problem today in AI, would you say? Anyone? There's about 20 of them, so you can pick one. Security, okay. Another one. Give me another one, security. Yes? Accuracy, very good. And a third one, last one. Anyone? Too shy? Sridhar? Volunteer. Trust, okay, trust. Yes, there's another problem also, that today when you use ChatGPT or any Bard or any other models, you are feeding the enemy, right? You're leaking data to a third party, and that's why Samsung, I have Korean friends here, have forbidden their employees to use it. So what EON did is we looked at all the open models that are out there that are commercially available but open source, such as Lambda 2, which by the way was released yesterday, the new version, but there's about 20 other. And we created an open source AI that we encapsulated and can offer for you. And on top of that, we can train it on your own data, so it doesn't hallucinate. And on top of that, we add spatial computing, which means that you actually not only can hear a language, which is like a text file from 1960s computers, but the avatar is with you, can show you, tell you, guide you, and assist you. Now that may sound a bit ambitious, so let's have a look. So first of all, this is used then for a number of things. It's used in things like oil and gas, it's used in things like medical, hospitality services, and a range of other security and a range of other applications. But let me just start with the first one, which is EON Mind.
Delve into a new era of AI technology with EON Mind, the latest innovation from EON Reality, the trailblazers in AI-driven virtual and augmented.
We're not going to listen to the lady right now, but what she's talking about is how you can compare a model from, example, OpenAI or Bard AI with EON Mind that provides you your own proprietary AI that you can even download to your environments. So that's super important, because if you're a big company, you have 4 choices. Either you use OpenAI or something like that and feed the enemy, so to speak, or you pay $500 million to our friends from NVIDIA and train your own. Not many companies can do that. Or you decide to build your own from open sources and then do everything on top of it, which, again, not many companies are specialized in. So that's why we developed EON Mind, a very cost-efficient way to deploy a model. And with a blink of an eye, you can go from different AIs. So if you like things like Claude 2, or if you want Orca, you can switch the AI. So once you've done that, the next thing is to train it. In a world where time is a luxury. So now you train it on your own data. Next in line is decisions.
Welcome to the future of decision-making and problem solving.
Now, it's not only about training, right? We want to use AI not only to learn, to train, but also to perform. One of the biggest challenges organizations have is how do you ensure that your employees take the right decision at the right time? Why don't we use AI to help us? So EON built a system we call Think Tank that actually gives you suggestions for your problems you outline with recommendations. And the more data you provide it ranks the decisions in a logical fashion. Next in line
EON AI, trust revolutionizing art
is trust. There's problems like hallucination, infringement of copyrights, plagiarism, lack of transparency, bias, discrimination, privacy concerns, ethical dilemmas, security risks, and the list goes on. For us to secure contracts with organizations like big hospitals, from which we'll hear in a few minutes, or US Air Force, we have to solve all these problems. Otherwise, you wouldn't use it. Singapore is a place where people are very aware of these issues and also need to address them. So this in itself is probably a 2-hour discussion, which I'm happy to engage afterwards in the one-on-one tomorrow, how we have solved this issue with the product EON Trust.
EON AI Interact.
The last one is about interact. The ability, we talked about it a little bit, the ability to create interaction by just talking. But fasten your seatbelt because it gets even more crazy. So this phone here, I can take this phone, be in a factory in a hospital, put panorama view, rotate, and it will capture everything in this room. It will annotate everything. It will also then answer to my questions. What if I want to do different things, right? So basically it helps me and guides me in the real world. Now, the next part is about personas.
EON Character Composer.
We talked a little bit about personas, which is the ability to, with a blink of an eye, switch your teacher from a curious professor to various persona. I just had dinner with Einstein, Marie Curie, and Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. I asked Queen Elizabeth about Brexit, what she thought about that. I asked Marie Curie about how she felt to get 2 Nobel Prizes. By the way, we have the chairman of Nobel here for chemistry. That will be the next speaker. So, and I, of course, I asked Einstein what he thought about the Turing test, and they could tell me all about that. So the ability to have different persona and billion a permutation of the lessons is very much possible. I could go on and on. There's many things, but I don't want to overstay my welcome. So instead of doing all that, I think I'll do what everybody wants to see here, which is a demo. So now I'll switch from that to my phone. So something that more than, what is it, 7 billion people have in their pockets today. And we're going to do a demo together. In fact, you're going to help me to do the demo. And your wish will become not my command, but the AI's command. So let's introduce our AI.
Hi. Would you like to create AI-generated art experiences, explore the real world with AI assistance, browse the library with pre-built content, or ask me a...
Let's say she asked me what I want to create.
Please choose from the following segments or use the microphone to provide a topic of your choice.
And she asked me if I do want to do education enterprise. Sorry? Sorry, guys. Someone party last night on the sound. It worked well. Yes. Okay. Let's. Okay. Can you turn that off? I think so. Switch it off. Okay. Is that better? Thank you, guys. Okay, so we're going to select, in this case, health science. So we are building the lesson right now. Within health science, I'm going to go for allied health science. And within that, I'll select, let's see here, medical procedures. Why not? It's a little bit like going to a restaurant.
You've selected the topic
and having a
medical
menu.
procedures and techniques from the education segment. Do you want to learn about the main components or a procedure of the chosen
So
topic?
she's asking me if I want the main components. I say yes. So now what's happening is the lesson is built.
Medical procedures and techniques are methods
So this
used to
is
diagnose,
like
treat, and
ChatGPT
prevent diseases and medical conditions.
With images, with text, with
One
videos.
fun fact about medical procedures and
that are
techniques in
created
allied
on the
health
fly.
sciences is that virtual reality is being used to train healthcare professionals. It allows them to practice complex procedures in a safe and controlled environment, enhancing their skills and improving
And it's
patient
created on the fly.
outcomes.
It's not pre-cooked. And there's the video. So let's say I'm
Here is a video related to
happy with that, and I want to understand this medical
choose the keyword
procedure
to use
in a
in search of a
hospital.
3D model.
So I'll select hospital here. I think I pushed the wrong button. Sorry, guys. That's, sometimes it happens. No problem. We'll do it faster now this time. So what I was about to do is to select the hospital and have the hospital in this room and walk through that hospital. Go and look under the hospital bed, explore it fully. So let's say create again. Let's say education, health science. We said allied, and then we say patient care. Oh, okay, thank you. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate it. So let's see here. It doesn't show up. One more time. Maybe I need to connect this. Interesting enough. Okay. Doesn't want to do it. We'll give it one more chance and then I'll continue. Sorry. Let's see. Stop mirroring. Okay. So now you got your chance. We'll see. You prepare in the end of the presentation. I'll continue. Sorry, it has nothing to do with EON, guys. It has to do with the connection between my phone to this, to that. And of some reason, right now, it doesn't want to collaborate with us. So in the interest of your time, I'll skip it. Let me just do one more thing before I do this. When in doubt, connect and let's see. And let's try again. Nope, it doesn't want to. No problem. We will continue. And you will see the demo in a second after my presentation. Okay, so now let's show how this is applied in real life. So let's say you have a factory. This is an example of maintenance repair operation in a factory environment. Where this is used for controlling, guiding, and assisting people in real life. It's used with IoT pieces. Let's say you are in a
This is a Raymond
logistics
forklift.
environment.
It is used that is high. The
And you need
pallet
help
grabber will secure the pallets.
to
Use the release
experience
pedal
this
to release the
environment in a
pallet when it's
logical
safely in
fashion.
its new.
Or why not being in an oil and gas
The
facility
three-phase separator is a vessel that is used
where
to
you explore a 500-meter large facility for maintenance repair operations. Or the factory is so big, so you can host it in your office, so you put it on the street, and you physically have to walk for 500 meters or whatever the size is of this environment. What about real life? So here's an example of real life. Flight from London to Los Angeles. And they're using our system here to, if something goes wrong with the engine, let's say an engine stops mid-air, and you have about 9 seconds to determine what to do. And if you take the wrong decision, you have a pretty serious disruption, meaning that everybody, you have to recover the black box eventually. So not only does it tell you what's wrong, but it also guides you and assists you through that process. But you can do the same in your living room. So you notice I'm not any longer in air. You can see a picture there. So you're actually in the room to do it. I was in India recently, and they are building about 150 to 200 new airports. And one of the challenges is how to train all the personnel. And here we can see how they're using this for training people that are to be in the control tower to guide airports. And they are doing it on what? On their phones, right? What everybody has So the key with this is not everybody has $3,500 to pay for a headset, but everybody, even in India, has a phone. So that helps a lot to accelerate this environment. How about medical? Medical is a big one. We're going to hear in a few minutes. I'm one of the third-year pediatric residents. CHOC, which is one of the top hospitals in California for pediatrics. Dr. Chang is going to talk about how to use this for patient training, or how kids can be guided. It's been an exciting journey working to feel less anxiety, or how they use it for CPR training, or how this is used currently for different viruses, and as well as training nurses, or why not the next surgical procedure. These are just a few examples of where this technology makes a lot of sense today. And the last one I want to point, actually two more that I would like to highlight, is that Singapore is becoming a smart city. When people talk about smart city, they don't realize that smart means that you have an AI that guides you. So if you go to the Tower of Pisa, you ask which language you want to be guided, and the avatar will take over the heavy burden, guide you and assist you in Japanese, English, or any of the languages you wish. So that's, or if you're in Hollywood, on Beverly Hills, you can do the walk of fame in the same manner. We have a colleague here from France that we work with security. So, for example, security can be pre and post earthquakes. We are working with the Turkish government to help them after the serious incident.
Debris is the result of a natural disaster.
In earthquakes. We also work with security in suspicious
Okay,
sites
follow these following steps.
for big events, as well as defense. Okay, so ultimately, what's the value of this? I can summarize it in 4. Yes, workers, students learn faster, retain information longer, make better decisions. They get better practice in real life. Also, the quality of how you acquire knowledge is very different from traditional means to this one. But many organizations, I would say almost everyone that's in this room, wants to build their own IP, their own AI, their own intellectual property around it. And EON provides that capability. Everything you create on our platform is owned and controlled by you. Now, if you want, you can publish it on our marketplace. We have 44 million users. And if you select us to publish it there and you want to sell it, you can do that. 80% of the revenue goes back to you. Wonderful opportunity for Singapore. That's a knowledge nation, right? To spread this little country that can spread the knowledge not only across APAC, but across the world. Testimonials. So there's literally hundreds of hours of testimonials from across the world. You'll hear some of them today on how this technology is used, what it benefits education institutions, enterprises, and governments. Academia is using this, obviously, since many years. But also, the big user now is enterprise. In enterprise, we've had reductions of up to 92% of the training cost and increased productivity exceeding 100% nowadays, combining these technologies. So it is really a true global revolution. And EON helps not only with the whole turnkey infrastructure. So we are working with AWS, and you get unlimited time and unlimited data. We are providing you the platforms. To the extent you don't have hardware, which most people have, we can help you there also. But most important, know-how. So this sounds theoretical. So let me show you a concrete example from one academic institution in Europe. They started in April, and you can see that they converted about 22 different master and bachelor courses. During that period, they created from April to June, as you can see in this slide. Just a second. I think I need to close it. They created 50,000 lessons in 2.5 months. And most people look at me and say, that's not possible, Dan. And the answer is yes, it is not possible if the teacher have to create it. But it wasn't the teacher that did it. It actually was the students. So on average, they have about 17,000 students. So out of those 16,500 students, they created an average 3. So that's an example of the speed AI can help us develop things. Last but not least, I know I overstayed my welcome. I apologize to you, but I need 5 more minutes to talk about the last part. Okay, so we have the tools, we have the solutions, but how do we implement it practically? And we have a vehicle called Spatial AI Center. So what's a Spatial AI Center? It's a partnership that enables education, enterprise, and governments to use this technology for learning, training, and performance. It's not your normal AI. It is spatial AI, meaning context-aware, situational aware, providing you with help with decisions. There's a whole video around this that I will not play because we don't have time, but I do want to spend 1 minute to highlight the 6 legs. So far in my presentation, I will only spend time on the first leg, which is learn, train, perform. But there are 5 essential pillars, whether you are a company, education institution, or government, that you need to adopt if you want to stay relevant. Adapting the jobs and the future skills. Staying current with the cutting-edge technology. Making sure that this adoption is profitable. You don't want to do what Meta did with the metaverse, where they sink in $10 billion and still licking their wounds, I hope, no offense, of not generating profit. Connecting the dots with your products or your solutions with the global community. And finally, don't help only your company, help your community. So EON has a solution for those 6 pillars. The first one,
EON Reality is transforming the
I'm not going to talk about because I already spoke about, so that's all about learn, train, perform. For that, we have grants. So if you're an education institution, we can help you with grants to deploy this fast. The second one, about skills and jobs, is here. So these, we have academies. We just announced today our first academy in Kuwait. We have our partner here that offers courses for students and lifelong learners on how they can become their own AI experts. This is not to use AI to become a better engineer. This is to use AI to become the next innovator in spatial AI. There's 1/3 theory, 2/3 practice. So what do we do in the practice case? We link the dots with the actual users. So I don't know how many hundreds of companies that come to me and say, Dan, I don't mind buying your products, but I need 10 engineers that know this. So that's what we're offering. So we are connecting the dots with the demand. Now, I'm amazed every day what students can create. Everything you see in this video is created by students, personal coaches, medical. Some of these become apps. Some of these become commercial apps. Very few become
EON Startup Program.
Startups. Now, every government I met so far wants to become a startup nation. How do you do that? And the answer is very complicated. I'm not going to go into that today, but 1 in 1,000 people are deformed enough to become an entrepreneur, and maybe 1 in millions to become an Elon Musk. So very few become entrepreneur, but you can have hundreds of people working for an entrepreneur. We have 3 unicorns already identified out of this program, and if you have a good idea, you're welcome to apply. Okay, infrastructure. Everything you see in this video is in museums. 5 years ago, it was the latest and the greatest. So how can you, and this is hardware, on the software side, it's even faster. Every week, new things happen. So what we've done with our partners is we can create a 5-year agreement, so you will get everything you need, oftentimes ahead of time. Whether it's the latest integration with Vision Pro, whether it's the latest inventions that we have now with regards to, we call it from phone to dome, so everything you saw on my phone can connect with the whole dome. So those are just a few examples, not to talk about the latest in AI. How about profit? the problem is that when you develop things, it takes time to build the market, international. So we have something called learn and earn, which means that you are linked with our marketplace with 44 million users. All you have to do, create your app, publish it, we'll sell it for you, and you get 80%. An example of this is this application here that took literally, has sold for millions. It was created once. I got my 5-minute warning, 3 minutes, I'll try to wrap up. So, global network. I mean, you're here today. Some of you had traveled from Paris, some traveled from California and other long Africa. So we are bringing communities together. That's very important. Last time was this same presentation here was in Budapest. No, actually, this was Istanbul, sorry. And we are arranging this 4 times a year. Our next presentation will be at the world's largest event in October 16th at GITEX, Dubai. Just a little preemptive. And we'll announce many partnerships there. Now, last but not least, if we enter an era of artificial general intelligence, when we question our purpose and we reach 25 times productivity in an era of abundance, and many of us don't have to work, what is important is curiosity and knowledge. So we have a nonprofit, and I'm looking, sorry, I lose my voice there, to the executive vice president that is leading this initiative. And it's our nonprofit for the last 15 years. We believe knowledge is a human right, and we want to make it available, accessible, and affordable for everybody. So we are now running these projects in Africa, Papua New Guinea, Honduras, and many other locations. And I think Singapore has a big role to play there. And it doesn't have to be fancy. Okay, so I'm wrapping up now. In the end, it's all about implementation. One benefit of being 61 years, and it's not my first rodeo, I've done this with this company for 25 years, is that we know implementation. The devil is in the detail. So if you engage with us, we'll promise you to help you with that. The goal is scale, job opportunities, and making this transition to the new era. It took us 100 years to get ready for agriculture to becoming an industrial society. This one will happen in 30 months to maybe maximum 36 months. So we need to enhance a smooth transition. Success factors, I'll skip the rest here in the interest of your time. We'll talk about it in another time. And with that, I will end. I'll skip this also. I just want to end with something concrete. So 2 weeks ago, I was in Borneo. So I visited one of our centers. They're actually here, Centex. And what I love about this is that they implemented Malaysia's technology first in Malaysia. This is their center. And they are using it to create knowledge. And what I'm most impressed, so this is the location here, is that not only do they use it for tech, they use it for their green tech lab, they use it for their IoT lab, they use it for the digital lab, they use it for the 5G lab, and they have 11 test beds. Most impressive, 97% employability, 4,395 students, 68% international certifications. Now, with all respect, it's Cochin. So if they can do it there, we can do it in Nice. We can do it, by the way, we have people from Nice here. We can do it in Dubai. We can do it in Abu Dhabi, Kuwait. And of course, we can also do it in Singapore. And on that note, thank you so much. So sorry for all the technical inconveniences, but I'm very happy to have you and to continue the discussion. And on that note, I leave it to you.